Cassian goes into high alert mode. And he turns into Iron Man.
Yeah, I wrote that down as well! Oh my god, we're so in sync today.
Nice.
Sorry for screaming into the microphone.
You're listening to Getting Fae'd. We,
Meike,
Lukas.
and Lea are reading A Court of Mist and Fury for the very first time. Today we are covering chapters 57 and 58. Get Fae'd with us.
Woo!
Hello again.
Hello, how's it going?
We are all in a
Doing
very,
good.
very fine mood. This is going to be a wild episode.
We're like fine wine.
Yes, I think we have a combined total of sleep of 10 hours today. No, that's not true. Oh, maybe it is.
I might offer 5 to the table.
Okay, yeah, I had 4.
Yeah, me too.
So that's 10 hours.
That's too much for me to count. 13.
Yeah.
You've heard it here first. Mike is a math genius.
And we all know after tired comes dumb, and that's the perfect condition.
4 plus 4 is 8, and 8 plus 5 is 13. I was so afraid I was wrong.
Sounded like so little and so few numbers. Are you okay? Can you please stop mocking me?
I'm sorry.
I object to this manner of being this way to me.
You're listening to Getting Bullied.
Woo!
Today we talk about how Lea fucking sucks.
No, she's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's start. Okay, Lukas, recap of the last 2 chapters. Now.
I think that's when they fucked a lot. And then
Yep.
they talked, and then they fucked,
Yep.
and then they talked,
Yep.
and then they had sex, and then they had a discussion. And then Raisen was in his frenzy because they're mated, and he's like, "Well, don't touch my girl." But it's okay because I'm magically inappropriate.
And he had a fight with Cassian because he's so...
Yeah, I think that's the most important part that happened in the last
Yeah.
chapters.
You know, retrospectively was very funny. The chapter before chapter 57, starts with a sentence, Rice doubted anyone would be stupid enough to attack. And I just think that is very, very funny, having read today's chapters.
Why do you think this?
Just saying.
Well, we are starting chapter 57 right in the middle of some, well, not action, but in the middle of plot happening, because we are starting right within the meeting with the queens.
No.
No?
First, we get like two lines of description how spring is dawning on the mortal world.
Yeah, I think the second word of the chapter is spring.
I was like,
suspicious. No.
But then we start into the action with some queens.
Yeah,
Queenies.
but only 2 of the queens are here. It is the eldest queen and the golden-haired queen.
Yeah, and I want to set the scene that happened in my head, because I'm not sure that when we met the queens for the first time, we have been watching Bridgerton already.
I think so.
But maybe it's because we just watched season 4 of Bridgerton, and whenever the oldest queen talks, I can only imagine Queen Charlotte now. Is that just me?
Maybe.
I see your point, but like Queen Charlotte doesn't seem that old to me, you know? So, because she's like the ancient queen, I see like a shrimpled, white-haired grandma
do.
queen, yeah.
No, I see like an old person in the Middle Ages, which is like 60.
She's the ancient queen. I mean, in the Middle Ages, that's ancient, probably.
Yeah, but that's my dad's age and my mom's age. That's
Yeah,
not
but
ancient.
your
But they
dad
don't
is
live
not
in
in
the-
the Middle Ages.
I don't care. But you asked what I imagine, and I imagine someone ancient.
Yeah, I imagine a hag too.
I didn't.
Like a
I
very
imagined
old
Queen
person.
Charlotte.
That's cool. I mean, it fits. Like, she has a regalness and a mean regalness.
And she's so
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
I actually like Queen. You guys have to watch Queen Charlotte because you will find a new appreciation for that figure.
Okay.
But the atmosphere is very frosty. Since Nesta, the last time they met, insulted the queens as being cowards. And so the other 3 queens, as you have said, Lukas, stayed behind because they are not of one mind what to do with the request that the Court of Dreams brings to the table.
Yeah.
And Feyre doesn't believe them that, like, Nesta's insult is the reason they, like, didn't come.
Yes, she accuses them of just saying that as an excuse.
Yeah. But I really liked Feyre's retort. She says, if that is the worst insult any of you have ever received in your lives, I'd say you're all in for quite a shock when war comes. It's
Yeah.
like, yep.
Yeah.
Good times, good times. Feyre is already pissed off, and rightly so. And the queens, they comment on the obvious bond that is now seen between Feyre and Rhysand.
because they're holding hands.
Yeah. And Feyre spins it as a tale of like two cultures now being fated to become one at the eve of war. But the queens make it clear that they don't see Feyre as one of them anymore, one of the humans.
It made me so sad that we didn't get a scene in which Nesta and Elaine first learned of the now formed mating bond. Because I feel like that must have been a big thing. Like, Feyre and Rhysand are now acting as like an established couple. And Nesta and Elaine didn't know that. So they must have walked in there and were like, oh, well, we're dating now, and la-di-da-di-da. And then Nesta probably was like, oh, what the fuck? And Elaine was like, oh my God, Feyre, I'm so happy for you.
Or the last time when Rhysand and Feyre left, Elaine and Nesta were left back home and were like, they're so gonna end up together. They should just like get to it already.
They made a bet.
Yeah. Also because of Feyre becoming Fae. Ha ha. Oh, lol, lol.
Never gets old.
Because she's Fae.
Good times. Well, they compare her to the children of the blessed. And on that note, they ask what actually happens to them when they cross like the border.
Good question, actually.
Yeah, it is actually a valid and interesting question.
And why doesn't it get answered?
Yeah.
What?
Rhysand does not answer.
What happens to them?
Okay, hear me out.
Yes.
That's not a theory. That's just me trying to remember something we talked about 2 years ago.
Oh boy.
But didn't Tamlin mention the children of the blessed? Or the book or maybe the story, or someone in book 1 mentioned them, and it was like a weird little plot twisty thing that they do something or did something, and that I don't think we talked about it necessarily in the podcast.
I mean, it would, like, he was looking for
Freedom.
I mean, he was, and for that he needed a bride, a mortal bride, or, well, a mortal lover, I guess. And so if, like, more and more children of the blessed, preferably women, I guess, for him, were sent over the border, he was like, will you love me?
No, they must be full of hatred towards the Fae. So no of the children of the blessed would work.
Tragic.
None of the children of the blessed would work.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think
I don't remember this.
But I think it's notable that they get mentioned at all. That makes me kind of think that there's something more to them. In the future, maybe.
You know, I'm not sure how much I like the fact that Feyre is already so immersed into the full Fae religion thingy. Do you know what I mean? She's like talking about like the cauldron is putting us here and there and forcing us to work together, blah, blah, blah. And then the mortal queens are like, well, the cauldron doesn't do anything for us because they don't believe in this tipping over the cauldron and forming the world, I guess. But like, why is Feyre so knowledgeable of the religion and why is she so into it? Because she never had any gods growing up. She's like, well, the gods are all forgotten and they don't do anything for us, so we don't believe in the gods. And now she's been Fae for like a year. And it's like, oh, the mother do this, the mother do that, and the cauldron, la-di-da.
Well, I think it's a bit like in the lore of Dungeons & Dragons where you cannot really not believe in the gods because they exist. And like Feyre knows the cauldron exists and is a magical artifact.
Yes, but for like to use it in your language?
Yeah.
I don't know. But maybe I'm just mad because I want to know more about the religion and Feyre does not tell me because Feyre acts like she already knows everything and doesn't need to ask questions and think about stuff, but I do not know. So I'm like, Feyre, please tell me.
Yeah.
Please.
But I think it fits to the phenomenon that she like hates everything mortal. Like she hates the mortals so much and she thinks so low of them and praises the Fae so high, and I think it fits that she's like, now I'm Fae and like this religion is perfect for me because it brought me to my lover.
Honestly, the children of the blessed comparison is not so far-fetched.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also she just grew accustomed to her privileges pretty quickly.
Yeah. But now it's time to show the proof that the Court of Dreams are actually good people with peaceful intentions.
Nice.
But everything inside Feyre warns her not to do this. But Rysand convinces her, like with their mind, they now have an open communication going between them at all times, that to wage war, you have to sacrifice some things. And if they don't put Velaris on the line, they will lose Prythian, so...
Yeah, and Feyre's
That's
gut
worth
feeling
it.
is probably nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's gonna happen?
What can the queens do?
What can they do?
They won't set foot in Prythian.
No.
But then Morrigan ceremoniously presents the Veritas, quote-unquote, in a voice that was young and old. Huh? I would like to now hear your impressions of a young and old voice.
I don't know if I can do it, but like in my mind, it's like a layered voice. Like when you sing two tones. Is that what you call it?
That's intense.
I think you mean like overtone?
Yeah, when you sing like
Melodies.
in overtones.
Okay, let me try.
I can't do it.
I can't either. No, wait.
No,
the
it was a good
overtone's
way,
gotta
actually, yeah.
come. Did you hear it?
No.
Yes. But now you have to say, let's look at the CD. Yep, that's how Morrigan says it.
How the Morrigan says
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, they
What
always
she-
call it the Morgan.
Yeah, what she says is, truth is deadly. Truth is freedom. Truth can break and blang blang.
Cool. Epic. The Morgan in the house.
Truth can blang blang.
What's tooth can num num? I know.
I am the Morrigan. Nom nom nom.
I am the Morrigan and I love food.
That's me. Truth can break and mend and bind. The Veritas holds in it the truth of the world. I am the Morrigan. You know I speak truth.
I
Epic.
guess.
Like, she doesn't bring any proof that she's the Morrigan, you know? She just, I am the Morrigan.
You know,
Yeah, but she has truth, so that's proof.
I
I
guess.
thought like the Morrigan sounded so funny. Like I know she means I'm the Morrigan from the past who has been a friend to the mortals, who's been truthful, blah blah blah. But I was like, the Morrigan just sounds like an object, and then
Yeah.
I put the Morrigan into a search engine of your choice, and I found out that the Morrigan is actually like the name for a Celtic goddess, or like more like a triple goddess concept, which is like
What?
the goddess of war, prophecy, sovereignty, and otherworldly powers, which then inspired the character of Morgana in the Arthur and Merlin saga.
That's cool.
That's sick.
Especially because I think in like the same scene, it is described that her eyes look otherworldly.
yeah.
And maybe she doesn't say, I am the Morrigan, but maybe she says, I am the Morrigan.
Yeah.
And you know what? For anyone who hasn't seen BBC's Merlin,
Hot.
Shame on you.
close your ears, cover your ears. Morrigan, or Morgana in this story, turns out a bit evil, betrays everyone. Just saying.
You
But
can
yeah.
now open your ears again.
But yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. I like, as a joke to myself, I put in the Morrigan, and then
Nice.
That's
there was an
cool.
article
That's
about a
some
goddess,
great
and I was like,
input.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my
Awesome.
biggest takeaway from this moment was that we didn't really read the full name Morrigan for a while. And then I realized that I misspelled her in every meme we put up on our Instagram account.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Aw.
Well,
Sad.
with her declaration, the orb begins to present pictures of Velaris. And I thought, like when I imagined what the orb would do, I imagined it like a seeing stone or like a crystal ball. But it works more like a projector because like fog billows out of it, and in that fog, like an aerial view of the city is shown. It's like a memory from Reese, I guess.
Yeah, like the Veritas is just a pensive
Yeah,
from Harry Potter.
but in cool.
Yeah, I guess. I feel conflicted about the Veritas because I do think it does a cool thing It shows you memories. Truthfully, it's immersive, but then it just kind of feels so random and just plot devicey. I feel like it was never really important. Fae'd didn't really care what it does. Then they just whip it out this one time to spill the beans, and then they return it.
Well, maybe they steal it again. Well, the Veritas does not only convey images, but it also conveys the truth of Rhys's love for this place. Well, the queens are impressed, but not impressed enough. And they say, your trust is... ... appreciated.
These bitches.
Yeah, like, it is quite suspicious how, like, they say it. It's like, oh, your trust is...
Appreciated.
Yeah, and can you not just hear that sentence in Queen Charlotte's voice? I think it fits.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. Then
I
the
see
eldest
them.
queen has like an absurd hairdo.
Epic.
Yeah.
Well, the queens say they have to discuss what they now have learned, but it is clear that they have already made up their mind to say no. And not even Rhys's letter to them was enough.
His letter?
Yes, he sent a letter, where he asked them, hello, can we please have the book? But he not only asked, can we please have the book? No, he wrote a love letter where he asked
To the queen?
Yeah, he's like, oh, you're so amazing. You have such a pretty hairdo. Will you be my queen? You, the one queen on the right.
Yeah.
No, he wrote a love letter about Fae'd. That he's like,
Did he start it with my dearest gentle reader? Because the queen would love that.
My dearest gentle reader, I have a mate, but she doesn't know it yet, and I would like to make the world a better place. Isn't that right? But for that, dearest gentle reader, I need a book. Such a funny book, isn't it? But only you can give me this book, so you should give it to the ton. That's his love letter.
Nice.
No, he says literally that, like, he wants to make this world a better place and that she can go home without being hated. But it wasn't enough.
I guess.
Yeah, but Fae'd was moved, I guess.
I know I'm supposed to find this cute. And, the letter itself is cute. Rhysand is such a cutie deep down, and I really appreciate that. But, again, he fucking told some random queens he's in love with Fae'd before he told Fae'd he's in love with her.
Yeah. But sometimes it's easier to admit personal things to complete strangers,
I see what you mean.
Maybe it was the first time he told anyone and he just needed to get it out there.
Right. I wanted to talk about strategy. Because I agree, it's a cute letter and stuff, but like imagine you're one of these queens and you get a letter and it's like, give me your most precious book which will make me super powerful. Because I love someone and that is the reason. I want to make a better world. Like, if he said, there's war and like she's the only one who can use this book, so...
Also, that is selling them a very big opening to himself. Like, to be like, oh, I love this girl. That kind of makes her a target.
Yeah.
Which he never, wants her to be. And then to be like, oh, here random queens. I like her.
But does he view the queens as his enemies?
No, he does not.
Does he view them as a threat?
No, but
No, he
like
does
even
not.
before, like he would have to communicate with them. Like before they say, oh, we have to ask the queens for the book. Would he have considered them enemies or just
No, I don't think so.
indifferent?
I don't think he ever thought about the possibility of the queens not being on his side. Like, obviously he was like, well, they might not give us the book because they don't trust the cause and blah, blah, blah. But never was he like, well, we need to be careful with the queens because they could not be our allies.
I mean, they are not on their side, but like he didn't consider that they might be on someone else's side, which is a real possibility. And I think it's kind of stupid that he didn't.
Rhys doubted anyone would be stupid enough to attack. It's just my favorite sentence ever.
Yeah, the thing is...
What's the thing?
Tell
I
us.
think it's reasonable to assume that they would be natural enemies to all Fae, because one would think all Fae would want to oppress them, and they would not want to be below any Fae.
But they seem so cowardly. Do you not think that maybe it's easier to be like, okay, here, all-powerful being who's threatening to oppress me, take whatever you want and, I don't know, be truthful to your promise to not hurt me again. Or help the guy who comes along and is like, well, I kind of have an idea how I could save the world. I just need 2 parts of a book, and then this random girlie that's now my lover who I turned Fae because she killed someone is now the magical being who can do blah, blah, blah.
Well, I think if this all-powerful magical being was like, oh, I only want that island that you're not even living on, then they would be like, sure, go for it. But we don't know about the nature of that agreement yet.
I mean, the queens haven't even betrayed us yet.
And they won't.
No.
Because... No, that doesn't make sense.
Because they appreciate their trust, the gesture,
Yes.
and will not betray it.
But as they make clear that they really do not intend to give them the book, Nesta cannot take it any longer. And she snaps and orders the queen to hand over the book.
Nice.
The queens refuse and kind of suggest, we could, evacuate this sliver of land. And Nesta is like, I've already thought about that. I've calculated. We need way too many ships for that. And I'm like,
Nesta did the math. I love it.
calculated that?
She can do that?
Yeah, it's just wild that she did the math. I'm impressed.
Yeah, me too.
I think she's proving to be a great future prospect for a queen.
Yeah.
We've had this theory, and I think Nesta is up for the job.
Yeah,
It just really solidified this picture I have of Nesta in my brain. I think I told you before that when I read Nesta, I think of this one queen from the point-and-click adventure King's Quest. From the newest edition, Velaris. She's like the mathy one. She thinks about stuff and blah, blah, blah. And now she calculated, and I was like, yay! That fits!
Yeah, I see what you mean, but for Nesta to become a queen, that have to be like an opening. That have to be a vacant position.
I wrote exactly that down!
You made the same joke.
I wrote down now there's an opening for Nesta! Oh!
Later.
I mean, what are you talking
Spoiler.
about?
What? Huh? What?
Well, she definitely has the makings of a leader.
Uh-huh.
And the queens see that she has a point. And then they're like, oh, well, so you should just flee into Fae territory then and be protected there. Because that sounds reasonable, I guess. And then Nesta actually resorts to begging, which is impressive for Nesta.
Yep.
And then Cassian steps at her side and declares,
Da, 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 da.
500 years ago, I fought on battlefields not far from this house. I fought beside human and fairy alike, bled beside them. I will stand on that battlefield again, Nesta Archerin, to protect this house, your people. I can think of no better way to end my existence than to defend those who need it most.
He's so dramatic.
And then he brushes a tear from her face.
Rysand saw that and was like, should have licked. That works. That's what the archer and Gert is like.
I have to say Nesta Archerin sounds cooler than Fair Archerin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I read that, I made a happy gasp.
I thought it was a bit much.
Yeah, but I was like, oh!
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think I was when he did his speech, I was starting to cringe, but I was like, yeah, no, okay, yeah. You like her. Go ahead. She needs that. She needs a gesture. You know,
Yeah.
her love language is gesture and acts of service and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then he wipes away her tears, and I was like, okay, now that's a bit much.
No, I was like, oh my god, it's happening! Everybody stay calm!
You know what? This is like a step in direction Nas.
Really?
Yes.
And I want
Even you noticed that. Oh my god!
and,
Now they're just friends.
and I want to make a prediction.
Oh boy.
How many books are there? 5 as of now.
We haven't discussed the news. The news, which will be old when this episode comes out.
Yeah.
But
News time!
Sarah J. Maas announced she will be publishing book 6 and 7 of ACOTAR. Book 6
Sorry.
this year and book
Impressive.
7 in January. Oh, January of next year.
So everybody be ready.
Yeah, be ready for when we talk about these books in 5 years.
Yes.
So, back to my point. Because I want to make a prediction. Write it down.
I got no pen.
Seal it in an envelope and open it up in 4 years when we talk about book 5. Because I think over the course of book 3, Nesta and Cassian will develop a relationship, kind of enemies to lovers. And then they will become closer and closer over the course of these books. And then in the great battle of book 5, Cassian will unfortunately make true on his promise and die protecting Nesta. And that's gonna be sad. This is my prediction. It goes into the envelope. It's sealed.
Sick.
That would be such a sob story.
But he is a killable character.
Yeah, and he's also like a hero archetype where he's like storming into the fight and then
Sacrificing
Yeah, he's a-
himself for his lord.
Yeah, and just reading this book closely as we do, exactly this moment that we just talked about is the kind of scene where when the death happens, people will be like, oh my god, do you remember book 2 when he said this and this and this? And this was such
No,
a
he'll
tragedy.
be
Kept
like,
his promise.
he's dying and she's leaning over him and he's like, this is exactly what I promised you. And then he like brushes away her tear like he does here. And then he dies.
And Raisin screams,
Should have liked it!
Chills. Literal chills.
absolute cinema. Well, with that, the queens bid themselves goodbye and they vanish.
Bye-bye, bitches. Hope we never see you again.
Well, everyone is in despair.
Yeah.
Everyone? No, not Raisin,
No.
whose eyes are fixed on the Golden Queen's chair.
Yeah, what's there?
Well, under her chair, hidden behind her voluminous skirt, was a box. And in that box is a book.
What?
I don't know why.
A scandalo.
I don't know why I find it so incredibly funny, but she just brought them the book. The whole time
She
they've
just
been
did it.
discussing how much they need the book. And then they're like, no, we're not going to give you the book. And then they leave. And she's like, here,
Well,
have the book.
Meike,
Bro move.
she had to keep up the appearance.
Yes, I know, but it's I don't know. She took the book from wherever it's like kept and just brought it here.
Well, you know, Meike, why she did it?
She just brought the book.
Well, she was moved by his letter.
Love works.
Love conquers all.
Love always.
But the book does not love. No, instead, it says some weird ass shit. The book says, hello, sweet thing. Hello, lady of night. Princess of decay. Hello, fanged beast. And trembling prawn. Prawn? Fawn? I can't read.
I don't think it's prawn.
Maybe it's trembling fawn.
I think so too.
I think it's
but
trembling
that
fawn.
looks like a bee.
I think it's beast and fawn.
Yeah. Hello, trembling fawn. Love me. Touch me. Sing me.
Love me, say that you know me. Then it wants to be opened.
Yeah, well, this to me it said, well, this is the crazy part of the book.
Yeah. She thinks that as well.
Yeah, she says, ooh, this is chaos and disorder and lawlessness, joy and despair.
The other book was just weird.
Yeah.
But this one is wow.
Yeah. What do you think? Maybe this is just me being stupid. But what does Lady of Decay mean? Is it like
Lady Deathstrike.
exactly my thought? Is it
Confirmed.
Lady Death confirmed? Is this maybe a foreshadowing of the Fairer being evil arc? Somehow. Yeah, and then I thought, is there maybe an obvious reason for the book to call her Princess of Decay that I'm missing?
Maybe it's because she's been dead.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's smart.
Is she a great Mario Kart player and has a good time on Decay Mountain?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, maybe like it is not really a circle, but it seems like it kind of describes like the circle of like death and rebirth. Like a fawn is also like not a reborn thing, but a born thing, you know.
Doesn't it also speak about rebirth and death and whatever?
Might be.
I think it says something like life and death and rebirth, sun and moon and dark.
Sun and moon and dark.
Rots and bloom and bones.
Sick.
Okay.
You go, book.
Nice.
That book should do some poetry slams. Night and day and rebirth.
Moon and sun and dark.
Moon and sun and dark. We're not mocking. Maybe we are, but we respect. We respect poetry slams.
Yeah, we're not mocking poetry slam. We're mocking the book.
We're mocking the book.
Mock.
And poetry slam.
No,
that's not right. I wanted to say this in a funny way. I actually don't have anything against poetry slam. I don't know poetry slam.
It's when you slam a poet.
Art. Well, on top of the book, there's a note by, obviously, the Golden-Haired Queen. And she says, like, if anyone asks, they should say, like, they stole it. Because I guess other people don't know that you can't actually steal the book and then use it. But more importantly, she says, do not trust the others. The sixth queen was not in. What? And now I ask you, what do you think was the sixth queen doing?
Well, obviously, she was against working with Hybrid, maybe?
Yeah, I think there are two possibilities. One is they already moved her out of their way. Like, she was probably against working with Hybern, you know? But I also
So she's dead.
Yeah, I mean, we
She
had
might
that
be.
theory that she is already dead. So that would fit. But I also was thinking maybe, like, on the same time as they were like, oh, they need the book. They were like, let's check out our options. And she was on a diplomatic mission to other interested parties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Or, hear me out, she's Fae'd's mom.
That does not dispute any of the other. It's just an addition.
I'm trying to put all of our past conspiracies in one pot here, okay? She's
Shouldn't she
Fae'd's
be like
mom.
a very old one?
Yes, would fit.
She's Fae'd's mom. Fae'd's mom is as established Fae because she had a fake funeral and
Fake funeral.
and then winnowed out of a coffin, as we have established.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
the queens
then-
can winnow. The queens can winnow.
queens can
she
winnow.
doesn't have to be Fae to winnow.
Okay. I just thought that maybe, I don't know, the queens did like a reverse favor on her and turned her mortal.
You know, why does the golden-haired queen have to be so vague? I feel
Yeah.
like she could put, they are evil, they're working with your enemy on this letter, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Now they are like happy and celebrating that they have the book. They go home thinking everything's cool and all right.
Yeah.
Which it's not. I hope we'll find out.
Yeah.
No, we probably won't. It's just a throwaway line. Well, with that, I guess mission accomplished. And before they leave, they actually offer to Nesta and Elaine that they could come with them to Night Court.
To Velaris.
To Velaris, yes.
Because that's the safest place on Earth.
Reese doubted anyone would be stupid enough to attack.
Well, thank God they decline. Or maybe sadly, who knows. But Reese...
We don't.
Not yet. Yeah, so Reese offers to send soldiers to protect them, who are then, I guess, invisible, and like every day there's an invisible person in their living room who they can be like, hello, we'd like to go to Velaris now. I think he specifies that they're only there at midnight or something.
At midnight and noon.
That's creepy.
Why is that creepy?
I mean, they know
Yeah.
the person will be there.
But imagine you forget that it's also noon, like how I just forgot.
And then you just walk in and Nestor just rips a big old fart.
Because that's
Cassian
the
is
worst.
on duty. He's like, nice, that's my girl.
Yeah, probably.
You know, I was surprised to find Rysand being so nice to her sisters. And I think we all were.
Did you think he would like be shitty to them?
Honestly, I was, yeah. Because he's apparently in the frenzy, which we do not notice in this chapter.
I forgot about
thankfully.
that already.
And I thought, because he has been vocal to Feyre about how much it angers him that her sisters have been so shitty to her, I thought he could not hold it together once they're alone and be like, "Wah, you suck, you've been so mean to my girl." But for him to be like, well, you're practically family now. My home is your home. Come to Velaris whenever you want to. Big
No.
character. I was surprised and very happy about good boy Rysand behaving and not being an asshole.
Yeah. Well, with that, we head into chapter 58.
Woo!
And we head immediately back to Velaris to
The Wang
bring...
Winnow's home.
Yeah, to bring Amran the book. And then we wait.
2 days.
Yes, 2 days pass, and Morrigan and Rhys are off, returning the Veritas, unbeknownst to its owner. And the city has been fortified, actually, and is now patrolled by Illyrian legions in the mountains. I had a question there, like, the Illyrians don't know about Velaris, right?
No.
But they're patrolling it.
Yeah.
But I guess that's
Maybe
why,
it's invisible.
Yeah, maybe that's why they're so far away. They it says they're patrolling in the mountains, so...
I guess.
And Feyre spends her time with Az and Cass, who are determined to protect the mate of their lord. And Feyre likes to spend time with them, but is not happy to have a protection detail. And then here, like, I wrote this down, and when I read the sentence, I was like, yeah, that's good, like, that's progress and stuff. And then I read what I wrote down, I was like, that's weird. Because I wrote down, Rhys says they will respect her boundaries if she sets some, but they won't stop trying to protect her. And that doesn't seem like they're respecting her boundaries.
Yeah, that was once again a weird sentence.
No, I think if she decides to send them out of the house, they will then protect her from outside the house.
Great.
Yes. Have I ever told you about the term one character in her other book series uses for overprotective and overbearing males?
No.
She also, she often calls her love interest an alpha hole whenever he behaves like that. And
Honestly,
I feel
fair.
like alpha hole just fits Rysand and Cassian and Asriel sort of as well.
Is it alpha hole or alpha ho?
Alpha hole, like asshole. but
Okay, yeah.
Alpha.
It's an a-hole.
A-hole.
Yeah.
But doesn't Feyre, I forgot the exact context, but doesn't she waste a thought on her father?
Does she?
What?
There's one line where she thinks about the fact that her father is still on the continent for
Oh,
whatever
right. Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then she's like, another variable to think about.
Oh, no.
No,
And
that man's dead.
I don't know if he's dead.
He's dead.
But I just...
To me.
He's
I'm
the
just
sixth queen.
confused.
It's her father.
Trans icon, stupid dad.
New merch idea.
Leave a comment if you want trans icon, stupid dad shirts. I mean, Sarah J. Maas really had the opportunity to just delete this character from existence, and I would not have been mad. But now he's mentioned again.
Do you think maybe this is a way for the story to offer this father redemption?
Ugh, I hope not.
Maybe he will be a spy.
I don't think he's capable of that.
He's now there. And that makes him eligible for being a spy.
I'm also here, but I'm not a
He
spy.
is a mediocre male. He can do it. Oh, we need someone on the inside to spy on the queens. And my dad is there. And then they write him a letter and be like, please, daddy, now you can prove to me what kind of a man you are. And he's like, oh, for my daughter. Now, because I have my money back, I will do everything for her.
Mediocre man, you can do it would be a wild sticker.
Well, the next afternoon, Feyre and Cassian are strolling over a bridge because they are returning from the theater. They have been, visiting a symphony. And on the bridge, they have a talk about, his declaration to protect Elaine and what that must have meant for Nesta and how she will never forget this. And
I will never forget this.
Feyre obviously ships it.
Feyre
Yeah,
is
who
the
doesn't?
biggest chipper.
Yeah. But she is like, oh, I'm subtly trying to nudge him.
Go date my sister. She finds very warm words for Nesta,
Yeah.
which surprised me. But nice, good.
Yeah.
Nice.
But in their talk, they are interrupted by a shift in the atmosphere.
What?
Cassian goes into high alert mode and he turns into Iron Man.
Yeah, I wrote that down as well. Oh my god, we're so in sync today.
Nice.
Sorry
nice.
for screaming
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
microphone.
He activates his siphons, and from the siphons, like the little nanobots of Mr. Tony Stark, they like come, like his armor spreads from his siphons and covers his whole body.
Yeah. It's like scalish-blackish with black scales.
It's scalish-blackish with black scales.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Poetry.
Well, Cassian has every reason to activate his armor because a flying army is approaching from the sea. Dun, dun, dun.
So, like in this moment, it wasn't really sure what exactly was going on. Is it an attack? Is it just something happening? And when the quote read, the smear of black separated, fracturing into countless figures. Too big for birds. Far too big. I thought we're gonna get dragons.
Yep, I see
thought
why.
we're gonna get dragons.
Amazing.
That would have been beautiful.
That would have been so cool.
I thought maybe like the Illyrians were attacking because it was like said, they're patrolling the mountains now and something flying bigger than a bird. Illyrians, you know.
I don't think I had an idea of what was coming because I was kind of caught up by the mention of the sea. Because I think it's a bit earlier that they're like, Feyre looks at the Sidra, and if she concentrates, she can feel like everything in the water. And then she's like, I wonder if Tarkin feels like that whenever he's around water.
Very
and then they're like,
Tarkin-coded.
the army is coming from the sea. And I was like, is it like forces coming from Tarkin, or is he at least helping like
I thought that as
to
well.
cross the sea?
Same.
I think in this chapter there are 3 instances of me reading a sentence, then misinterpreting that for a moment, and then being hyped/shocked, and then in the next sentence finding out that I'm just wrong and stupid.
You're not stupid.
Yes, I am. The first is, oh my gosh, he's attacking. No, he's not. The second is, oh my gosh, are these dragons? No,
So it's
they're
the same
not.
sentence that made you do it.
Yeah, and then there's going to be a third one.
Oh, I'm looking
And-
forward to finding out.
Yeah, and then I'm looking forward to finding out if I'm the only stupid person here, or if one of you
Never.
had the same thought.
Well, Cassian immediately wants to send Feyre away, but Feyre has the fight in her, and she already thinks of strategies of how to defeat the attackers and how to use her powers here. And
Nice.
the way she says is like, ice danced at my fingertips, wind howled in my blood. I'd pick them off one by one. Epic Feyre! Pew, 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 pew! Yes.
Slayra.
And the first onslaught of that army is stopped by Cassian alone, who produces a magical shield encompassing almost the whole city.
Wild.
Pretty epic,
Yeah,
pretty powerful. Good boy.
but can we mention what this army is?
Feyre does see what the army actually is. They are not Illyrians. And as she notices what they are, the fight leaves her and she's frightened. Because this is an army of Atos!
That's so random.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's like the Etta is not the species. Like, I guess it's still a name, but it's like an army of the species of Etta, I guess.
Yeah, the Etas.
For some reason, I find that disgusting. I don't know why. It gives me the just the thought of so many gangly, scaly beasts flying from the sky. Ugh, I'm kind of like.
And the thing was, like, the last few times the Etta appears, it kind of had lost its scariness.
Because it was so stupid.
Yeah, it was a bit dorky to us.
Yeah.
But I have to say, reading this, it was quite scary to me. I was like, damn, that's scary.
I wouldn't want an army of Ettas picking me up and snacking
Munchy.
on my
Yeah.
sweet.
Also,
bones.
they're not only Etters. The Etters are armed with gauntlets made of that magic repellent material that was like used against trees. So with these gloves, they can punch through Cassian's shield. Oh no!
Nice.
No, not nice.
Not nice,
But
but
cool.
like a cool,
Epic, scary.
a cool narrative device.
Yeah.
I mean, this is very useful equipment. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta give it to the King of Highburn. He's like, he knows who his enemy is, and then he equips his armies with what could be used against his enemies.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
in this moment, Feyre has that realization why the King of Highburn hasn't attacked yet, because he was gathering that material. Like, he was gathering, like, because he knew he was fighting against magic, he was, like, gathering magic repellent weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
And now
I
he
mean-
sent his beasties.
Yeah, I mean, the King of Hybern and Rysand have that in common. They are both well-equipped.
Well,
No? Okay.
as the army breaks through, something lands before Cassian and Feyre with a wet thud. What is it?
Yeah, that was my third thing, because it is described as the dead body of a woman splattered dead before them. And the first thing that is described is her golden hair. And I was like, what the fuck? Did Morrigan just die?
It was my first thought as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Thank you.
and I think it's deliberate
Okay.
that it's like just the hair, and I think we associate Morrigan with that blonde hair a lot, like more than the Golden Queen. Because why, you know?
I mean, in hindsight, like, the Golden Queen was like the centerpiece of the previous chapter.
Yeah,
So,
I have to
yeah.
admit, I expected it to be the queen. I didn't expect her to die so soon, but
That thing.
I didn't expect her to die so soon. But in this chapter, there's a sentence where Feyre thinks about the golden-haired queen, and then she's like, I really hope I see her again. And I was like, oh, well, if you say it like that, you probably won't. And I mean, she saw her again.
Nice.
But
Nice.
they
for
should
the
be
last
friends.
time. So yeah, when it was like, oh, there's the dead body of someone golden haired, I was like, oh, okay, she's dead now. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know why. To me, I think because the queens just always took so much time to do anything. To me, like, that was like done with for at least 4 chapters, you know?
Yeah, I know.
And
I know.
so I didn't even think about them anymore for now. And because, Rhys and Morgan are away. And then, blonde! Danger! Danger! And who drops her off? Of course, it's Mr. Main Etter himself.
Mr. Man Etter. The original Etter.
Is there Mrs. Female Etter?
Not male, Main Etter.
Maine.
Mr. Main Etter.
Not confused with Mr. Pennsylvania Etter.
And he says, regards of the mortal queens and Jurian.
They're all working together.
First of all, revelation, queens working with Hybern. I was shook,
Yeah.
have to say. In that moment, I was shook.
Yeah, but like, if you think about it for like longer than 5 minutes, what
Yeah.
Rysand obviously did not do, this would occur as a quite real possibility. So I think it's wild that Rysand never considered that. I think it's wild.
But it is wild. Like, to me, like, we have talked about it already, but to me, it's a wild choice that the queens would be like, hey, Hybern, let's be partners. And to me, it would only make sense if they're like, if you only want Prithian, go for it, have it. We don't care. We have no stake in it at all if you just leave us alone.
Yeah. I mean, they must have been threatened in some kind of way. But yeah, maybe that's the deal. They get Prithian and they get to live. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
What confused me more was like, and Jurian. Because I was like, what was his deal again?
Well, that could mean 2 things. Mm-hmm. The first thing could just be Jurian in his eye was wiggling around and being like,
Wink, wink.
The King of Hybern was actually successful in his attempts to resurrect Jurian, and Jurian is now an alive being again.
I think so.
What was his deal again? Something about resurrection? What was
I think
his plan?
the King of Hybern wanted to tell him a lie. I don't know.
Okay, so here's the deal. Miriam was quote-unquote mortal, even though she was like half Fae, and she's Jurian's ex-lover.
Right.
And the King of Hybern just gambled that Jurian thinks that Miriam died, so he can pretend to be able to bring Miriam, who's
Right.
actually not dead, back from the dead, and thus get Jurian on his side.
Right. He resurrects him, is like, oh, work with me and I resurrect your girlie. And then Jurian's like, sure.
But what can
Yeah.
Jurian do? He's just the dude.
I don't know.
Maybe he's like super smart.
I really don't know what's going on.
No, but I'd like to just throw out my second amazing, precise, smart and on-point prediction in this episode. Here's what happened. I think Jurian is resurrected by the King of Fireburn. And you know who gave the King of Fireburn the pieces of Jurian?
Temu!
What? He bought them on Temu? He ordered on Tamlin. And that's what I think would make sense, because Tamlin would have been able to get the eye from Amarantha.
Yeah, but wasn't that a prediction like 10 episodes ago?
Yes. But
That's
now,
why it's precise.
You're just warming it up.
yeah, just put it into the microwave.
My precise lasagna.
No, but I think this is like maybe confirmation that actually happened. And I think now, I mean, listen, okay? I spiced the prediction up before I put it into the microwave.
With what?
Knowledge.
Okay. That's so sick. I spiced it with knowledge.
Back then, we had two theories. The first one being that Tamlin possesses the eye and finger of Jurian. And the second being that Tamlin is in cahoots with the King of Fireburn. But now we know that the King of Fireburn has Jurian, and this kind of informs the first theory. It informs the second theory.
What?
I guess it informs both theories. It's pretty late, okay? I'm tired. I can't get this, okay?
I believe in you.
And the fact that the King of Fireburn has Jurian just makes it that much more plausible that Tamlin is in cahoots with the King of Fireburn if Tamlin was the one who had Jurian. Does
Didn't
that
we
make
know the King of Fireburn has Jurian?
I was about
Maybe.
to ask that. Like,
I feel like the bone carver
Why-
said as much.
why do we
know.
think that Tamlin has the pieces and not the Etta take them?
I had the theory that Tamlin took the ring and the finger when he killed Amarantha, because he was so close
Yeah.
to her and everyone was shocked and no one would have noticed him taking it.
Yeah, plausible.
So it's also possible that the Etta just brought Jurian to the King of Fireburn,
Yes.
which would be boring. Girl.
Yeah, good.
More boring. Boringer, you know?
No, Lea, I don't.
Well,
I really
I thought
don't.
you had knowledge.
No, I used all my knowledge to spice the microwave theory.
And put it in the microwave. You close the
What
door.
were we This episode is
door?
all over
To
the fucking
microwave.
place.
What
This
the fuck
episode is
wrong with you?
amazing. Well, the Etta flies away.
Yeah, so if anyone happens to still listen to this point, that's what happens next.
And Cassian pursues. And Feyre flees to the townhouse. And also,
Yeah.
for a second, Feyre thinks her blood might heal the Golden Queen, which is still alive, and impaled on a spike. But then she takes like a step toward the Queen, and the Queen goes "Wah!" and slips to the ground, which was incredibly funny. Just wrote down, oh well, and then Feyre flees.
Vera's like, oh, I can say very well now.
No, Feyre's really, I should help. I can't do anything. My blood heals.
The queens always take so much time for everything. She could have taken a minute longer to
This
die.
woman was alive for so long.
I wanted to add something else.
Yes.
I thought of a nice name.
For whom?
I will tell you momentarily. Because Asriel and Cassian joined forces in the sky, and Asriel's blue orb and Cassian's red orb morph, and I want to call them Team Purple.
That's cute.
I thought something more epic would come. But sure, Team
Do you
Purple.
not think that Team Purple is epic?
No, but it's royal. You know, purple is a royal color.
Also, purple is one of my favorite colors.
Purple is good color.
Good color, yeah.
Okay.
Feminism.
I don't know why that happened.
Team Purple.
Woo!
Soars through the sky!
Before Feyre sees her boys fighting in the sky.
Team Purple, you mean?
Yes. Boys in purple. She runs through the city, which that's actually not very funny. Is an absolute carnage. And there are even rivers of blood running down the cobblestone streets.
Jesus Christ.
And then Cassian and Ezreal join forces and become Team Purple and slaughter a whole bunch of enemies.
Cool.
And now I will read some epicness for you.
Epicness.
Thank you.
Twin shields of red and blue merged, sizzling and slammed into the rest of the aerial forces. Flesh and wings tore, bone melted, until hands encased in stone tumbled from the sky. Only hands. Blah, blah, blah. So they're all obliterated by magic except for their gloved hands.
Awesome.
Cool.
That's fun.
But unfortunately, the main brunt of the attack focuses on the most vulnerable part of the city. The Rainbow of Velaris!
Oh no.
Oh no!
Not the artist.
And Feyre is torn because on the other side of the city, she sees Amryn fighting against the attackers by just pointing her fingers and dropping enemies.
You die, also you die.
She's awesome.
Nice.
I love
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
And that wakes the fight again in her, and Feyre feels ready to defend her home and her people. And she heads into the fight. Let's go. And first, she slaughters her enemies with blades, but there are just too many of them. And then she sees a young fairy making a stand. She is just armed with a rusted pipe, protecting her shop and the people inside. That was just amazing. I love this.
Yeah.
I have to say, like these kind of scenes, they always get me. Like the underdog standing up against the oppressive force because it's just the right thing to do.
I think it's kind of silly.
What? No,
It's just
I
so...
felt inspired. I thought of Minnesota. I was like, go girl, fight the oppressors.
I just thought it was a bit much.
I don't care.
She was like,
You know,
I go in there and she's all alone and she's not ready to fight, but she has something, but it's rusty.
Well, that's a nasty weapon. It will give you tetanus.
They're Fae. Fae don't get
no, they're
tetanus.
at us.
They get tetanus. Look at them.
They get tetanus.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Here's their
disclaimer.
etters.
No.
Like, disclaimer. I am not against oppressed people who fight the oppressors. I just just putting it out there as maybe an important information. I just think that in these kinds of stories, it just feels so constructed and so on the nose that now obviously we have to follow this like throwaway protagonist who stands up for her shop and fights with a rusty pipe. And it's like,
But
I cannot
imagine.
I just can't lose myself in the pathos.
imagine the protagonist seeing this lonely girl and she's like, no, I will do what's right even though the nasty atters come and attack my shop. I will not stand down. I will stand up and fight.
You know,
and we should all rise to the fight with her.
I do not mind the sentiment. I mind
Yeah,
the
yeah,
image.
right.
I mind the way it's written because it feels. Yeah, constructed is not a bad word. It just felt like a too polished picture.
Yeah, yeah, right. I get the sentiment. I just think it's a bit overdone, maybe.
Yeah, I what I meant
But
was
I
just
am-
like like if the sentiment's there, I'm like, give it to me. I need this right now.
Yeah,
you know.
you know, this is not like criticism of your experience because I appreciate that and I love this for you, Lea. Maybe you're just more passionate than I am.
Yes, I am. Because I do what's right and I stand up for the little man in my mind.
There already was a "do you" forming on my lips.
Well, Feyre feels inspired.
Lea feels inspired.
I am Feyre, so I become the river, just like her. And she becomes the river and lets the river fight for her.
That was epic.
Yes.
Yes.
We
And
all
she-
agree.
She forms hordes of wolves made of water and they force the attackers to flee.
Nice.
Yoo-hoo! And when they fly away, the wolves turn into falcons and eagles with talons and they go hunting their prey. And when the prey is wet, they turn to ice and fall to their death.
Amazing.
Woo!
That's such a good strategy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing.
She's so good at using her powers already. I'm
Yeah.
so proud of her.
Yeah, and it's just like the creative use of her powers.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like to compare authors too much, but it almost felt like a scene out of a Brandon Sanderson book.
Oh, that's a big compliment.
Yeah, in concept. Because like it felt like it's a hard magic system. You have roots, and then you find creative ways to use these roots.
Yeah, I know what
Nice.
you mean.
And so I really like that.
Cool. And all around her, like frozen body parts shatter to the ground. But one of the attackers has survived. And of course, it's Mr. Main Etterman.
What?
And he is still up and about to flee, but Feyre won't let that happen. And in that moment, Rysand kind of enters the scene again. And in his connection to Feyre, he's like, "Where are you? Where are you?" And she answers, "I am exactly where I need to be." And then she went off into the sky. And that is where the chapter ends.
Epic.
Cliffhanger!
Very cool.
Nice.
I really liked that Rysand was worried because, he's allowed to be worried. He probably just entered his city and it's under attack and he doesn't know where Feyre is. But his worries do not hold Feyre back because she's like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I'm telling you I know what I'm doing and I'm going to do my shit. And now I just wanted to go and fuck this Etter up because she needs to get her revenge for Claire.
Yes.
Kill that bitch. I think there was the second time when he was like asking in her mind where she is, she thought about turning around and going to Rysand and regroup. And then she's like, no, I'm doing this now. The Etter is fleeing and he's escaping. So I'm going to follow him. And that is so good. That Feyre feels comfortable enough to be like, no, everything will be fine if I just leave him and go after the Etter.
Yeah.
Beginning of the book, Feyre could never.
No. Overall, the fight scene is really fun. And it's also very dramatic and violent and a bit gory. And it just felt like this is what Sarah J. Maas actually enjoys to write.
Yeah.
Because I feel like compared to the rest of this book and to a lot of other scenes, this was different. And like, I'm not trying to say this was such a well-done fighting scene, or I'm not trying to accuse Sarah J. Maas of having a ghostwriter for action scenes, but it just felt different. And it kind of felt like she actually just really enjoys fantasy and fighting. And then was told like, yeah, well, you, as an author, as a female author, you kind of also need romance. She was like, yeah, sure, I know romance. Fuckity, fuck mates. Ooh, but fighting. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
I see what you mean, yeah. Then I have a question for you. Do you think, because I don't think, that the Etter will survive the next chapter?
No.
Nice. Glad that we're on the same page.
I feel like Feyre will kill him.
I think so too. You know what I think? That we should just wrap up this episode and keep on reading this book. I would almost dare say that I would recommend this to us. And you know what? This leads us into our section of the podcast.
So smooth.
Recommendation corner!
Woo.
Does any one of you have such a recommendation?
Sure.
Yes.
My recommendation is soda. Foreign soda, to be more precise. Lucas and I have recently been on a small little vacation to the Netherlands. And I have to admit, I am a huge fan of Dutch supermarkets. I just love this one Dutch supermarket chain. I don't know why. I hate grocery shopping, but I loved whenever we went there. And
Grocery shopping? More like grocery shopping.
right. No. Whenever we went there, they had like this huge shelf of different kind of sodas. Like
Nice.
sodas you only get in the Netherlands. And I just picked out a few and then I tried some in our like sweet little vacation home, and then I took some home to try here. And I feel like just trying foreign stuff is so fun. Try different sodas. And if you don't like soda, try juice. I don't know. Or tea.
Oh, fun. Chocolate.
Yeah,
Because
we
they had
also
a lot
bought
of
a lot of
chocolates.
chocolate.
Nice.
We bought a lot of food.
And we ate a lot of food.
Good
Yeah.
times, good times.
Yeah.
Well, if you have bought all that cool, tasty foreign food or drink, you can consume that while watching the series that I am recommending to you now. The series is called Taskmaster, and it's a British series, show, whatever. And they always have some contestants who are comedians or at least of the entertainment branch. And So there is this taskmaster. In the original show, it's Greg Davies, who is a very, very, very tall man, and his assistant, Alex Horn, or as he calls him, Little Alex Horn. And they have to do funny tasks, but it's not like... It is demeaning, but not like in an inhumane way, but in like in a funny, cute way, you know? I think it's a very human show. It's hard to describe, but it's incredibly funny. And I think all the seasons are on YouTube to find for free. And I have been binging through them like for the last few months. And you should go watch it right now on YouTube. Taskmaster.
Nice.
Woo. Woo.
Woo.
That's your task.
Now I have a task. And it's to recommend something to you guys. And it's also something that Mike and I did in the Netherlands. Coincidentally, because I want to recommend quite a simple thing, but a fun thing, and it's inline skating.
Woo!
Because I think sometimes, as adults, we forget that stuff like inline skating is a thing that we can also do. I feel like it's maybe a pretty kid-coded thing to do. But if you still have inline skates that fit your feet, or you don't, then go buy some, then put them on, have a fun time. Pretend you're ice skating in the Olympics and fall on your butt a couple of times.
But still got a bruise.
Great. Yeah, it was pretty sad.
No, it wasn't.
But yeah, I don't have much more to say about it. It's fun. Wear protection and skate a bit. He was a skater boy. See you later. That's what we're gonna do with our listeners in 2 weeks.
Yes, but if you want to fill that time, not only with Taskmaster, but with some Fae stuff, you can head over to our socials at Getting Fae'd Pod on Instagram and TikTok. And there you can find some highlights of this podcast and some memes and some outtakes, which will be very funny, obviously, because that's what we are. And if you have some feedback or just want to chat, I guess, you can slide into our DMs. But please don't send any spoilers, because we obviously want to go on and we are heading to the end of this book. And now being spoiled would be very, very sad. And if you're already on it, why not leave a review and give us a follow? That always helps.
Yeah.
And, tell a friend to listen to this podcast, because good times are always good. Wisdom by Lea. And with that, we will see you next time when we are getting Fae'd.